She fall to their knees, choose a side, left or right, it's all the same. Compassionate folks and half-truths and lies, packaged in these outer suits and ties. To be fair, you and I are not the same. And they don't know
Yeah, what is up, 24/7 Buff Pandemonium? It's your boy Swank. That's right. I'm back after a 3-week hiatus and having way too much crap to do. Tonight, we have such a great episode for you. It is Season 6, Episode 8 of the K-Gun Report, brought to you by Buff Fan Base and 26 Shirts. We have one of our favorite returning guests, Mr. Brad Lamb, and we finally made it happen. We have the duo, his son Xander Lamb is also joining him. We're really excited about that. We're going to talk about wide receivers all night long, and it's going to be great. Since I haven't been here in a while, and I've been on this here app trying to figure out how to get the best out of my equipment again. Of course, it's screwed up. So we don't have an intro video. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring on Jerry. I'm going to bring on Scott. And I'm going to bring on our guests of honor, the Lambs, Brad and Xander. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, guys? Good to see you again.
Hey, guys. Good to see you, sir. And it's great to have you on, Xander. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Your old man is a legend on this show.
That's what I heard.
That's right.
We love this show. We love it.
Yeah, it's great having you on, man. Thank you guys so much. Scooter Magooter, man, I haven't seen your face in a couple weeks. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm well. Bills Mafia, I'm doing great. It's that lull time of the year, so we love to talk Buffalo Bills football, keep you guys occupied through every Tuesday at 8:30. But there's a lot to talk about, a lot of changes being made, and we could speculate for the next couple months of what's going to happen to our Buffalo Bills in 2025. Excited to do it. Welcome.
I know I missed all that Brandon Bean drama. I'm kind of glad I did, actually. You guys handled that quite well. But, you know, wide receiver, man. When is it not a hot topic? I love it so much. Jerry boy, how are you, sir, with your nice bright red Bills hat on?
That might be the reason why Xander's trying to switch to running back sometimes. But hey, get out of that wide receiver room. Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Can't wait to talk football. It's been a great rainy week here. I'm getting behind the lawn, but you guys don't care. And I can't wait to talk football, wide receiver, and, you know, whatever tonight brings us, let's just have that conversation, have fun. Go Bills.
Let's do that. We're so glad to have the Lambs on. I've been waiting for this show for a really long time. I think it's so interesting, the father-son dynamic and the paths that you guys have taken together. And Brad is absolutely one of our favorite people. We got a ton of people in the comments chiming in right now. We got our guy Patrick Hughes saying, "What's up, Mafia? What's up, Lambs? Let's go. What's up, Pat?" Corey says, "Hello, Mr. Lamb. Look forward to hearing from you." He's never that formal, but yeah.
He's not.
We got Uncle James saying, "What's up, Mafia? What's up, Uncle
What's up,
James?"
Uncle James?
We got Corey just saying, "Oh, thank you, man. It's good to be back." John Johns, "What's up, Mafia? Another week closer to the start of the season." That is right. About time I show up. Yes, that's absolutely true. A lot of ball busters on this show, Xander. In case Doug, what's up, y'all? Let's go, Mafia. Tuesday nights, the K-Gun and the Lambs. That's right. We got Birdo. OG, what's up, sir? How you doing?
What's up, guys?
We got Mr. Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta.
He says, "What up, boys? Mafia, mount up."
I always back away from the computer because I think it's going to be less loud, but it's still the same. You know, it doesn't change.
You got to ride the fader on the volume a little bit. That's got a guttural thing, man. He just hits it real hard. Spartan, I got to shout him out real quick. He got his poncho jacket alongside of Sal Capaccio and Steve Tasker and a bunch of other people this last weekend. So
It's a great honor.
that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Welcome to Poncho's Army.
There you go.
And yeah, we got a lot of love for you two gentlemen in the comments here. Saying hello.
What's up?
Yeah. So
Man,
Brad,
we love our Bills Mafia.
absolutely. What's not to love, you know?
Absolutely. That's right. That's a fact.
Brad, fill us in on what's been going on with you, man. How you been? What's going on?
Oh man, just hanging out, trying to go through this crazy portal stuff with Xander, man. This is a wild time in football right now with all these changes. It's a lot different than when I was playing. So, trying to feel your way through all that. It's been a little stressful, but guys good and things are working out well.
That's awesome. I am so interested in this, especially since it's a newer thing. And the two of you guys, obviously, Xander's going through it. You guys are going through it together as a family. It wasn't around when you were around playing. It's crazy to me. Xander, can you, what's going on, man? How does this feel? What's this process like?
Yeah, no, it is a little bit stressful at times, but kind of having my dad, my mom, just like my family all around me going through it. It's actually been better than I thought. The portal's crazy, but we've been on a few visits and I'm really liking it so far, liking the schools I've visited and stuff. So yes, sir. It's been going good.
Awesome.
A little bit of Anderson yesterday. How did that go? How was that?
Yeah,
Did Dad
they're
back?
awesome
And how
up
about you?
there. Yeah, they're awesome up there. Shout out to them. Great coaching staff, great facilities, great campus, everything. It's amazing up there. I love it.
They are a class act. They've probably stood out to us, because as I said before, going through this process, man, it's just really strange because you get these OCs and receiver coaches and running back coaches reaching out. You respond like, obviously you expect your son to be respectful and all that. And then some of these guys, it might be three, 4, 5, 6 days later before they even respond back, after they reached out and, are interested in all that and trying to get visits set up and waiting to know exactly when that's going to be. And that's what I told Xander. One of the nice things and the things we appreciated about Anderson, they're always attentive, man. You text them, you have a question, they respond immediately. The visit went great. As being a former coach, former player, and all that, I know I'm prejudiced because it's my son, but I also did play with some of the best wide receivers and running backs to ever play the game, and so I feel like I know a little bit about talent and things of that nature. And when we went up to AU, what was cool about it is they were telling us where they see Xander fit into their program and their offense. And it was exactly what I had been telling his mother for the last 2 years. Xander's skill sets, this is what he needs to be used at doing. And so that was cool to see. And of course the facility was beautiful, and the coaching staff was just top notch. So, that was a fun visit, a great visit. And, we're hoping to get this thing finalized and done here in the near future. I hate dragging things out. I'm the guy that likes to get things settled and situated and done. And this whole portal thing is a nightmare for me. So
Xander, quick question. When you go to these places, and I only picture what it's about, I only picture is Gruden asking questions to quarterbacks and write this play out. Now, with you going from a wide receiver, trying to transition to a running back position, do they drill you the same way, or do they basically tell you, we like your skill set, this is how you would do on our offense? Or is it kind of like they try to get to know you based on writing out plays or remembering schemes?
Yeah. So they what's good about Anderson is they like me at both. So they said they'll use me at running back, use me at receiver. And that's kind of what most schools are saying. Like they just see me as a skill set to play both and kind of what I'm comfortable with. But I mean, I like both positions really well. So I mean, I started as a receiver. I might be biased because of him, but I really like them both. I'll run the ball if you need me to. I'll catch the ball if you need me to. I'll hit somebody if you need me to. Yeah, block, whatever you need me to do, I got it.
I'm pretty sure coaches like to hear that.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
absolutely.
I've visited Xander on his Twitter account there, or X if you want to call it that nowadays, and I watched some of his videos, and man, you hit the hole quick and you move. So I could see you doing both. Little gadget player, that'd be cool to watch, man. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, ever since we've been talking with your dad, we've been fans of yours too, man. So, like I said, real treat to
Yes,
have the
sir.
two of you guys on here and get a little experience here.
Not everybody knows this, so I would have went D1, but I needed to be a little bit bigger, faster, stronger. I needed to know how to read the playbook better too. So all those. I was D1 ready. Except for all that.
A little more personable. He had to know how to write. Xander, man, what was it like growing up with your dad being an NFL player?
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably like high school is when it really kind of set in, like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, So like, oh, he actually played in the big leagues. But no, he's always been on me and coached me hard. He's been the hardest coach I've ever had. And it's been cool just to see like when I mess up on stuff, just how he coaches me up and know that he's been around the greats and he's seen like what it takes to get to those places and stuff. And yeah, no, it's been awesome. I love it. Wouldn't take it back for anything. So.
I guess that was a question I was going to have, is when did you realize Dad was telling you the truth about everything about football?
yeah, I would say it really set in high school. Yeah, high school is probably.
Man,
did you tell him, Dad? You know what? You're right. You're right, Dad.
We all had that moment, man. I dumped a 5-gallon pail of ceiling paint at the first house I ever bought, and I almost lost my mind because it was money I didn't have to spend. And I called my dad up, and the first thing I said was, "You were right about everything you ever told me. I'm so sorry." I'm losing. Brad, man, I'll flip that to you. When is this something that you wanted for Xander? And when did you start to realize, hey, man, this kid's got enough talent to be able to do this and get into college and play some ball?
Well, I've always been a firm believer that I only wanted my kids. Of course, I have 5 daughters, so that football wasn't an option there. But whatever they wanted to do, and it was a passion for them, then I would back them 100%. I never wanted to be the dad that tried to force something down their throats because I love it. And I tried to always tell Xander the same thing. I want you to play football if you want to play football. Don't play it because Dad played the game, because you got to love the game to play it. And what's so cool to watch as a dad is the way he's developed, the way he's handled himself in all these transitions we've had. The good and the bad, but the bad with being at UNCC for getting ready to go into the 4th year and going into your 3rd head coach and total 3rd coaching staff, and having to prove yourself each year again, starting here and working your way up, starting here, working your way up, but he always held himself with class. He always respected the process, and those kind of things, to where it just finally got to a point this year where, they were honest. I was totally disagreed with what they were seeing, as far as in their view. And we just felt like, okay, this was the year that, from the previous coaching staff, he's going to be in there, playing all the special teams. He was going to be carrying the ball 13 times a game, so he was really going to get that step this year. to a whole new coaching staff saying, well, we're not sure, what's going to happen. So we decided at that point, he did. It's always been his decision, but we've talked about it to go ahead and enter the transfer portal. They didn't want him to. You didn't cut him or nothing like that. They would like for him to stay there, but we just felt like it was time for him to go where we knew he could, at least, a kid has dreams. And one thing as an adult, and as you guys probably know now, is when you go through life, the things you regret are the things that you didn't do that you always wondered, could I have done this?
Right.
And for him not to have the opportunity to get on a field and actually show what he can do, in his mind, I think he would have regretted, staying where he was at and getting minimal opportunity and wonder, hey, if I would have been given the opportunity, could I have done more? And so, to me, that's what it's all about. And he's done it the right way. And, that's what's exciting about these visits, especially at AU too, just the opportunity that I believe he'll have there. They get a great teammate, a great hard worker. Nobody's going to outwork him. He's got a good determination of how to work and what it takes to be good. But you know how it is. You got to have a coach that believes in you.
Yep.
Or the coach that recruited you. Almost like in the NFL, if you get drafted and you have one of the coaches, tell the head coach, I want you to draft this guy. You better believe that guy's going to get the opportunity to prove himself, where some of these others might not get those opportunities to do that. So, our whole mindset has always been, all we ask is, Dad played professional football, could care less. He wants to earn it. But if he's earned it, give him the opportunity.
Yep. And I guess that's the key part of the portal realm, is a lot of people understand that there's a lot of people have different views of it, but it's that opportunity part that a lot of people don't think about. You have an opportunity to actually go play the sport that you love, to give yourself a chance, get in that portal and see what you can do and see what I think that's one of the benefits of this portal thing.
There is I think there's tons of benefit, but there's to me, it's almost destroyed some of it's hard to develop a team. It's hard to develop young guys now. They don't allow those young guys to develop like they should. I mean, the good thing for Xander is he's had 3 years D1 experience without the real bang up on the body. So he's still fairly healthy in the body for his next 2 years. So, that's the positive part of it for him. And we're excited about that. This money that they throw around for these guys and what they have to do to pay guys to come in, okay, if you're going to do that, then shouldn't they sign on the dotted line? They're going to be there for 4 years,
right?
Or something of that nature where there's some structure to this thing. Instead of all the other kids that are trying to make their way, but all this money's being taken up by, one guy, because there's really no structure to how this thing works.
Yeah, it does seem like they kind of went into it blind and just was like, oh God, we got to do something. Here we go. Here's a bunch of money, whatever. I think it's so fascinating that I guess I've never thought about the college experience like that, right? Like getting brought in by one coaching staff and then going through the changes like you hear about it in the NFL. We lived it in Buffalo for all those years, like every 2-3 seasons, new quarterback, new coach, new personnel, whatever. But man, to have that amount of eligibility and not to be like you happen to earn your way up and prove yourself every year.
You got to throw school in there too. It's not just head coaches and players. You got to do school too. That's fine. If that's your old job is to play football and you can deal with coaches coming in and out, whatever. If that's the only thing you're focused on, but when you got to still get an education. Oh, and I got a new staff coming in. Kudos to you, Xander, for doing what you did. Sometimes, you get bumps in your journey, and obviously these have been little bumps, and you're going to take the bull by the horns and go in the direction you want. And hopefully Anderson sees what everyone else sees, and they get you going. And good luck. Like I said earlier, good luck to you, and just keep fighting, man. Keep fighting.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that so much.
No problem.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, he's definitely got a hunger in the belly, that's for sure. So it's exciting I'm looking forward to getting to see him out on the field this year. So he's chomping at the bit.
I like it. We got a couple questions for you guys here in the comments. This one I like a lot. It's more of a comment. Our guy Chris Christian says, Xander, if you're going to do karaoke, you should sing Black Betty, Xander Lamb.
Black Betty's.
That's
God.
that was pretty
Comedians around here.
He might end up doing that, you know.
I was waiting for him to turn around and grab the mic.
It's like karaoke's not part of the interview and the transfer, I guess. Patrick wonders, Xander, do you have a favorite highlight of your dad's?
I don't know. Yeah, there was one where you were outside. I think I posted it on my Instagram. It was just a go ball he caught. I think it was a diving catch. I forgot what game it was, but I would say that's probably my favorite. He also has one where he made, what was it, Sports Illustrated, or again hit the hardest.
Yeah, Ronnie Lott hit me. They all like to remind me of that hit. I'm not sure. I don't know why,
But he held on to the ball, got the first down. So, but I would say definitely that go ball was one of my favorites. So,
Brad, do you remember the hit? Because that's probably why they keep trying to remind you.
I remember that. Yeah, I haven't forgot that. I think
best
that's
part of
one
that
that's
story
seared in my memory.
Say, do you remember because you were told, or do you remember because you actually remember it?
No, I still remember that.
Xander, that's another thing you can add to that little bucket thing is, your dad got hit by a Hall of Fame safety, Ronnie Lott, for God's sakes, who actually lost a finger during a game and went back in and played it.
Crazy.
Yeah, cut it off. Let's go play.
That commercial. Man, I can't remember who the player was, and I don't even remember what it was for. But they were just sitting there on a loop going, Ronnie Lott, Ronnie Lott, Ronnie Lott.
Yes, he's a bad man.
Corey, this one's for you. Brad, what's a moment that sticks with you from a game or anything really when you played? One of your favorite moments?
I would say probably one of those two was well, not that one, but just my very first catch from Jim Kelly against the Indianapolis Colts. My first NFL reception in an actual game. Probably one of my highlights. Of course, the Super Bowls. I mean, that just goes without saying, playing in the Super Bowl. But probably, that catch, being on the field, James Lofton, broke the receiving record. Got to be a part of being on the field with him when that happened. So, a couple cool moments right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Hall of Famers,
let's
man.
see. We got Doug saying, come on over to Syracuse, Xander.
They lost a bunch of players to the draft.
Yeah. Patrick,
that's a good thing. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Ranch or blue cheese? I gotta go ranch. I'm not a big blue cheese.
Yeah, you just lose
I had to jump in front of it. I had to jump in front of it and say ranch.
It's a trap, man.
He didn't ask me. I'd have told him, don't answer the question. No, I'm just kidding. Unless it's blue cheese, don't answer.
Hell, even nothing is better an answer than that ranch.
Oh, man.
All's forgiven. Don't worry about it.
But I do miss the Anchor Bar. I got to get back down there and get me some wings down there at the Anchor Bar.
Good.
Yeah. This is the year we always try to
or Doubletree.
Yeah. We talk about hooking up for a game, Brad. You guys get up this year. We should do it. And last season.
I know, in that stadium, I got to get to that one and then get over to the new one too. I'm anxious to see that one as well. But hopefully maybe on a bye week this year when he's off, we can maybe we can get up there and catch a game.
Definitely, yeah.
It'd be fun. I got a double up question here, Swank.
Do it up, man.
It's a bit of a competitive question. So, Brad, I want you to take an attribute from Xander that you wish you had in your game. And Xander, I want you to take something that your dad had that you would like to add to your game. And don't say the 4.26 speed either.
And Brad, you can't say hair either.
I guess
that's a good one.
This is good, but I think there's a couple if I could share a couple of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One is, and not to give him a big head, and I even told the coaches this week or yesterday when we was down on a visit that I actually think he's got better hands than I do. He catches the ball with his hands really, really well and great in traffic. So that's one attribute that I think he's really good at. And he's a lot thicker and he's bigger than and probably tougher than I was at that time too. You know, I came in, I played in Buffalo. I don't know if you guys know, but like at 177, you know, weight wise. You know, Xander, you know, 190, 195, 6 foot. And, you know, I'm 5'11", 177. So, you know, I think the toughness that he carries, I think, you know, you know, I think we both love the game. I don't know if there's anything there, but I think his toughness and just the way he catches the ball, I think, are two attributes that I would have had a little bit more fun with if I'd have had.
There you go. There you
I
go.
appreciate that. I would say for me, I mean, he tells me all these stories about how he's running these times and stepping up to the plate when things got tougher and stuff like that. I would say just like the way he could perform under pressure, like running that 40. I know you said not to bring that in, but when he played, we had a big games to play. I would just say the way he could keep himself composed and still compete to the highest level. I think that's what I aspire to be like. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when he sees the ball flying to Andre Reed,
Yep.
James Lofton, Don Beebe, all those guys.
Just a few guys there, just a few.
You got to be patient. You got to be patient. Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to ask Xander, what does a day look like for you, like during the week prepping for a game? And I want to like compare and contrast this to Brad, what it looked like for you. You know what I mean? I just think it's so interesting. There's got to be so many similarities to the way you guys see and do things, but also like, you know, it's what 40 years later or whatever it is.
I mean, weren't people smoking on the sidelines 40 years ago?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, just to start off the week, I mean, you start normal practices, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would say they're pretty normal.
Early.
Yeah, early. Yeah.
What time? What time?
What? Oh, yeah. You like 7? Yeah. Would you say like yeah? It would be like 7 in the morning. You'd get there, do practice. Those would be pretty normal days, and then you'd go get food. Obviously, go to class, do what you have to do. Probably like take naps. And then towards like closer to game day, like Tuesday or Thursdays and Fridays. So Thursdays would be probably like a chiller practice. Fridays you would get in the hotel after you do like a walkthrough. You'd be off from school. And then yeah, you'd sleep in the hotel, get dinner, have meetings at night, wake up early, do meetings and stuff, have a little walkthrough, nothing crazy, make sure you're hydrated. More meetings on meetings, and then you'd end up walking down there and then getting ready for game day. Depending on the time, would be depending on how early you had to get up and stuff. But yeah, then you just go through your regular pregame routine, go out there, stretch, whatever you need to do, and then hit the game. Yeah.
Nice.
There's something you said in there that I remember playing. I only made it to the high school level, but always hydrate. Hydrate was
Yeah,
always huge
yeah,
for
you
me.
got it.
Right? Take a nap, get your lift in, hydrate, make sure you eat something good, take a nap, hydrate.
This is also before Brad answers. This is also the time where when we between double sessions, I don't know if kids do double sessions anymore, them young bucks, but we used to go out to McDonald's for 10-cent burgers too. So never mind about that.
Quick little carbo load, grease pack. Yeah, that's good. How about you, Brad? Is that similar to what you went
Well, you know, you guys referred to earlier that I'm old, so I might have just forgot what I actually did back then. So
It's that Ronnie Lott hit.
yeah, no, I would say the differences that kind of surprises me. Well, I don't know if it's it's more, and maybe he might disagree with me, but I don't think you condition like you did back when I played. You know, like you were talking the 2-a-days. You know, the things that you do during 2-a-days. I don't know if they condition quite as much as we did back then. You know, I know one thing that he takes with me that I've always preached and I see him do is nobody's going to outwork him. Nobody's going to outwork me. I mean, you know, We have talented players, but I still wanted to make sure that nobody outworked me. They might have been better than I was, but they weren't they weren't going to outwork me. And I think that was part of it. But I didn't have quite that many meetings. I don't believe that they have now. I don't think we really studied quite the game at my level, NAIA Division III level, like they do now, to understand the concepts and your defenses and, the schemes and all that, Brad, run a slant, catch it, try to run a touchdown. I mean, in college, at AI, that's what I did, go route, different things. But, so I think it's a little more in depth now of the game, and you can appreciate the understanding of the game better. I probably learned more once I got out of the game, really, than I knew when I was playing it. I wish I would have understood it even better when I was playing. Obviously, it makes you a better player. So the thing that he's got going for him that I didn't was that fact that I didn't understand when I got to the NFL that, you come in shape. You all this pre-work, you're supposed to already be ready by the time you hit the field. The extra time in the classroom of studying film and how to study film, the right way. All that kind of stuff for me was all new. I had to go learn all that stuff and figure it out because I'd never been taught that, previously. So I think that's a benefit that a lot of the kids are getting now that maybe a lot of kids back then didn't get, as far as maybe the higher levels probably did. I can't speak to that because obviously I didn't play there. But Sundays were a little bit hard on me when I play them because there was nobody that I played against that I could look on the other side of the field and greet after the game was over. There was nobody that I'd played against that was in the NFL. So,
Right.
Wow.
that was a little different for me. It was just guys that I would either meet, through the NFL that played on other teams and became friends with it. You got to know, but there was like no college buddies,
Yeah.
that I could meet, after the game, say, hey man, good seeing you, that kind of stuff. So
I never thought about that for real. Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
On the other side of that, that's like a huge honor that out of that level, you were the guy that made it there, man. And played your years. And I don't know. I think as lonely as it could have been, Brad, I think it's a very cool thing, man. And
well, I appreciate that.
Well, I feel bad for Brad because we have rewind and play and stop and all that stuff. And back in his day, it was probably you had to take your screwdriver, pull the tape back, and then hit play again to watch.
It was microfiche. What are you talking? We'll go in there and take the magnifying glass.
Yeah, technology has changed this game quite a bit, and I can't even
yeah.
imagine the huge difference. Even just like working out, like I was thinking on the ride home tonight, like the conversation that we might have, and one of the things that jumped in my head was the fact that just a simple contact versus contact now. I think back then it was more of a contact game more than a cerebral game, and now with all the technology and all the kinesiology and the sports medicine, now it's more of keep these guys healthy, get their minds right, and it's more of a mind game than it is a physicality game. So and Ronnie Lott was a prime example. He was able to take your head off and with no penalty. And nowadays you don't even get a penalty. You'll get a penalty for the same hit. So just the technology differences. And even I know, Brad, you're big in, you had your training business and getting kids going and even that now you hook them up to machines and you can measure heart rate and oxygen intake and what the muscles are firing. And back then you just watched the guy run and judged on that. So it's crazy over the years, the differences.
Well, they've got that crazy machine I saw that tests ACL strength. They wrap them up, they strap you to it, and you got to like push against it, and it pulls it back, and it takes all those readings to see how well your leg's healing. That's that technology now. This medicine's crazy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they can do now, which it's pretty amazing. One thing though that's never changed, and one thing to me it's immeasurable, and that's an athlete's heart. What does he deep down have inside him? When the going gets tough, I don't care how good of an athlete you are, if you ain't got that grit down deep, and you want that win more than the next person wants, don't matter. And so, that's another trait I think he has is, he doesn't like to lose. When the chips are down, he plays his best games, when those big moments come around. So, he's done that all of his career, and so hopefully get a chance to do that again.
It's
Heck yeah.
truly an X factor. That heart is the X factor of a game for
Yeah.
sure for athletes.
Because you got to be able to get up and do it again.
Yep.
You got to
Yeah.
be able to do that. Yep.
Well, I think, the biggest, and I don't know if you call it a disappointment, but I guess I would, is on the coaching side of it. It seems like to me, and maybe I'm taking it maybe a little more personal than I should, but it seems like the coaches nowadays, they don't, not all of them, I'm saying some, they don't really want to do their job in the evaluation process of an athlete. They would rather let somebody else tell them, oh, this kid's a 3-star. Oh, this kid's a 2-star. He's automatically got to be above the walk on, or he's automatically got to be above this one because he's got 3 stars besides. Instead of looking at him on the tape and saying, okay, what kind of talent does he really have? Who gave him that star to begin with? Who dictates? So somebody's never played the game before says, oh, well, he came to my camp and paid me $1,000. He's got to be a 2-star. That kind of stuff irritates me because I think there's a lot of kids out there that have not had the opportunity to go to camps and get evaluated and be quoted a star.
Yep.
So they kind of get overlooked instead of giving them the opportunity to show you on the football field what they're made of and what they can do. So I think that's one of the nuggets that they're missing in the game now that they didn't back then. They had to evaluate, kids back then. I don't think I would have ever made it if they were doing stars. I mean, I'm coming out of college at 5'11", 175 pounds, an NAIA Division III school. I'd have never got a second look. Unless these scouts come out and actually looked at you, evaluated you, and really ones that knew what they were talking about, give you that opportunity. So, that to me is one of the frustrating parts as I've went through this process with him in college. And I just feel like there's several kids probably in that same boat that probably got a ton of talent and just never got that opportunity to show anybody because the coaches just kind of, and you got to think they got 100, what now I guess in Division I are going down to 105, but before that they're having 125, 130 kids. How do you really evaluate all those kids unless they're the ones that you either recruited or they got a star by their name and then the others just, okay, well, you're just getting in 1 or 2 here just to fill the gap.
Right.
You're not really getting the opportunity to show us anything. So, that was one of the frustrating things during camp. Xander had a great camp, but then they had 2 preseason scrimmage games and he got to carry the ball 3 times
Yeah.
and in both all those games. And the crazy thing is he went in for 4 straight plays. They ran 4 straight pass plays. Then one of the guys below the depth chart came in. They run 4 straight run plays. So those are the kind of things that as a coach or as a dad, that, you see talent. Okay, kids got to have opportunities. You can't, and his 3 runs, one was a touchdown. One of the only running backs to have a touchdown in a scrimmage, 20-yard touchdown, and nobody else scored. So I've always preached to him, you got to make the best of every opportunity that you get. And he did. So he's done it the right way. I'm proud of him. I just, it just wasn't the right fit anymore there. And it was time for him to make a change.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about evaluation. How you're going to bring someone in. I don't care if the defense knows what you're running. Let's see what this kid's made of. Give him the ball 4 times and see what happens.
Right.
And the other thing with those 5 stars, a 5-star could be a 5-star athlete until he gets popped once. Then he may become a 1-star, 2-star quick. It's about the heart. And that's the part that counts. That's a lot of these people don't see because you're right. They see this guy's a 4-star, go grab him. Okay, what happens when he gets hit or he gets twisted up?
Exactly.
Now you're 1-star wide receiver that's not going up and catching the ball anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's going all the way through. I mean, from high school, that stuff starts with the dad buying the booster club, whatever, and then from the college talking about what you're talking about, and even like evaluating at the NFL level. I mean, Tom Brady went in the late rounds, and Josh Rosen was a first round draft pick, and those things like so specifically aren't perfect anyway. So to not even give everybody a fair shake, especially at that level when everybody's putting it out there to play. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's very, I mean, brave. It's the right move. You want to play, go find a place that'll play you.
Yep.
You know, and it's cool that you got your old man there in your corner fighting as hard as you have. And I'll tell you, he's a good dude. And every single time he's been on this show, he's absolutely talked you up and how good of a guy he is.
I appreciate it.
We get our Xander updates for sure.
You know, you look at the NFL and some of these guys like Cooper Kupp. I mean, even in college, the coaches told him that he wasn't going to play. You know, but he had that heart. You know, he had that desire. You know, I'm not leaving it here. I'm going to outwork and I'm going to continue on. So, you know, you got to have grit, man. It's not a game for quitters. That's for sure. So,
yeah, for sure. Guys, it's 9:08 right now. Thank you so much to the 858 of you that are tuning in live right now for our special Lamb Family episode, episode 8 of season 6. We got Xander and Brad hanging out here until about 9:30, and then the Reed boys are going to get yelled at by their wives if they're not take care of their collective 7.5 children. So we are sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go over to 26shirts.com. It's over there by Scooter. They got really great, fresh designs and T-shirts. The best charity in Western New York, helping out Western New York families. And it's great. Go check it out, man. They got a ton of stuff. 26shirts.com. We love them. We're also part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Super proud to be the originators of the Bills Mafia. And go follow all their stuff on all social medias.
Go follow it.
They continue to grow, and 26 Shirts is up over $2 million total donated. So they're doing a fantastic job there.
That's awesome.
So.
Absolutely. Catching up in the comments really quick here. Corey says Xander must only eat boneless wings now because you're a ranch lover.
Bust his chop.
Patrick says the good thing about boneless wings is you can make a chicken wing sub from them, so you can just eat chicken wings.
Hey, there you go.
Nope. Then Corey's backtracking, saying I like boneless. You know, he flip flops, whatever. Doug wants to know, Brad, when you were playing, did you ever get after the refs? And if not, which teammate did?
That's a good one.
I wanted to, but I was too scared. I wasn't going to get on the bad side of Marv Levy. Jim Kelly would give them a run for their money, man. He was, but he was always right. In my opinion.
There you go. Yep.
Just ask him.
But he was probably the most vocal on the offensive side of the ball. I wasn't out there on the defensive side of the ball for the most part, but Jim would probably, I'd have said on the offensive side of the ball with Jim. Keith McKellar, you know, there's a few times he would get in there and give a few words as well. So I think I don't think I ever remember ever getting in a ref's face or doing anything like that when I played. So might have been my dad, you know, instilled in me that, you know, if I disrespected him on the TV, he would probably go drive all the way to Buffalo and back behind him. So
that's not my son that did that on national TV.
Ronnie Lott, who?
Yeah.
We have a thing on the show. Brad knows about it a little bit. Last year, these crazy guys in the comments, they started talking about SpaghettiOs, and it evolved into this big thing. And now, like, there's this huge, you know, battle, and they do SpaghettiO chugs for good luck, and it's just not stop, Xander. I'm sorry about it, but we got to ask this question. Patrick wants to know. Let's ask the big question. Do you like plain SpaghettiOs or SpaghettiOs with meatballs if you had to make a choice?
They do have hot dog choice too, but no one ever chooses.
Nobody ever chooses.
I need to get warned about this one.
No, you answer any way you want.
I'll probably go with SpaghettiO with meatballs. I think
you just won the hearts of everybody in the comments.
Yeah.
Over.
Good thing you didn't say ravioli.
He said ranch. He said ranch. So I was assuming
yeah, put a little ranch in there.
Xander, I got a question for you really quick. Besides number 81 for the Buffalo Bills that you idolize, was there any other receiver that you look up to or want to mimic your game behind, or running back in the NFL when you were young and now currently?
Yeah, I would say, like he was talking about him earlier, Cooper Kupp. His story is just awesome. Like, I really look up to him. I mean, obviously, is my number one person I look up to. Just going back and watching his film and all that and what he's taught me. But I would say Cooper Cup. Running back wise, he put me onto him. But Walter Payton, little
Yeah.
old school guy. But yeah, no, I would say those are my two big ones. There's obviously a few more in there. Like Josh Allen's probably my favorite player right now. I mean, biased maybe a little bit, but that guy's fun to watch. So James Cook, like all those, the whole Buffalo team, I just like watching. So, but
There you
yes,
go.
sir.
So I wasn't going to put you on a spot and ask you who your favorite team was. I assumed it, but I would hate for you to talk
Oh yeah,
about.
oh yeah,
So
Buffalo all the way. You don't got to
one
worry about
question I
that.
have, the last question I have for you both is: when college football is done with in the regular season, what does a Sunday look like when the Bills are still playing? Xander, do you come home and hang out? And
Oh yeah,
what do you,
I
what's
got
it
my
look like
dad's
for you guys?
jersey on. I got Buffalo stuff on, the hat, all his merch I got on, and we're cheering on. It could either be a really good day or a really bad day,
There you
depending
go.
on what the scoreboard says.
Beautiful,
Luckily,
nice.
there's
It is.
been more good days than bad
Oh
days.
yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I wanted to throw this out here. Our guy Patrick Hughes put it in the comments, and his mom is out there too, Mary Jane Brown Hughes. She's 20 years breast cancer survivor.
Mm.
So congratulations, Mary Jane.
Congratulations. That's
That
awesome.
is awesome.
So can I hit up? We don't get Instagram comments, so I want to throw
Yeah,
a couple
go ahead.
up there. Nigel Sick has joined us. Lexi Kina is watching. Lilia Lamb Price is that I'm guessing that's.
Oh yeah, that's
There's a couple of my daughters.
All right, and you got 5 of
Hello,
them.
Lily.
I saw I looked up Xander's highlights and it said 5 siblings, so I didn't know they were all daughters. Very cool. And then
They're all fans.
Cornerstone Power Wash says if you want to win, put Xander in.
That's John.
That's my son-in-law.
Honestly, that sounds like a sponsorship to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And I tell you what, you want to talk about toughness? 5 sisters.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Hold
Dan, you
it.
gotta be tough too, man.
No. Now that might have softened him up a little bit with all them sisters taking care of him all the time. Hey,
Was
will
there
you
ever a
fix me
point that you and
something to
Xander were in a
eat?
corner?
Hey, will you do this?
I was saying you start to toughen it up once all the boyfriends start knocking on the doors. Then you start really toughening it up.
Check 'em.
Yeah. Hey, now vice versa. You want to talk about him having it hard?
Yeah.
When he tries to date somebody, you got to get approval
yeah.
by 10 people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
That's not 20 questions. That's 100 questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But he wouldn't trade it for nothing. That's one great thing. Our kids are all really close, and we're proud of all of them. And we've got our 3 oldest ones are married, and we got grandkids 4. We got a 5th one on the way. So, that we're so blessed and so excited, and family just keeps on growing. And God's just been really good to us.
Yep, and that's a tribute to you and your wife too. There, Brad. So
100%.
congratulations on you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
That's one thing that we love here is we're all about family. We got nieces and nephews and kids of our own. And one thing I notice on Xander's feeds usually is he's very humble. You see a picture of him in his uniform and playing, but then he refers back to a picture with him and his family. And man, I love that about you, man. You just keep going back to the family. You know where your roots are, and it fits right well with us 3 up here.
Yep.
And it's good raising, man. I love it.
yeah. Wouldn't trade them for the world. I mean, like he was saying, they come everywhere I go, so they support me through everything. Whether it's football, whether it's not football, class, whatever you name it, they're always there for me. So I gotta, like you said, always go back to my roots and thank them, because without them, I wouldn't be anything. So
Get you, man.
For sure.
Good.
That's awesome. That's got to be huge, especially in life, but going through what you're going through with the portal thing and all that stuff, man, knowing you got that solid foundation and my whole cheering section behind you.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Great. Lori says, I have a video for you 3. We got Eli, our kid in the street, who should be coming back here soon enough. And he had wings for the first time this week. He did use a fork, so he tried blue cheese for the first time live with us halfway through the season here. But now he's at the wings, so I can't wait for that video.
That's awesome.
His face.
Go, Eli.
Lisa John says, "Hey guys, been listening from John's phone, but I have an idea. How about a Spaghetti-O dunk tank at the regular season Rager?" I don't think you're going to get Mark Maddox in that thing, man. Because I ain't going there.
I just got a question. Does Mark eat the can too, or what?
He opens it with his fingers,
Yeah.
and it's not the pop top either.
Rips it right in half, man.
He just rips it off, doesn't he? Oh, Mark, what a good guy.
That man could still play, man. I the first time I ever met him in person, I was 11 years old, got an autograph, and I remember him being a giant then. And then when he came up for the Rager the first time, again meeting him and realizing how wide this man is. I made a comment last time I was on the show, like I fill up a half of this screen. Mark took the whole thing with just his shoulders. He's a giant man. Love Mark.
He's a great guy. Absolutely fantastic guy.
He was taken in the same round as you, right?
No, I think he was. I'm trying to think what round Mark was. He the 7th?
He was the pick after you, yeah.
Well, I was the 8th, so he must have been the 9th pick then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He was the 9th.
draft.
Yeah. Back then it was 12. So, they shortened it up a little bit. Of course, there's more teams. So, I tried to figure it out. I think I was number 222 when it was all said and done. So I think they still have 222, just not 8 rounds.
So you would have still made it by today's standards.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was trying to figure out. What would have happened back then?
With the 8th round, 222nd pick in the NFL draft, the Buffalo Bills select Brad Lamb. You're right.
Well, you know what's crazy back then too is it wasn't televised and it wasn't on TV, and so it was the radio. I'm just sitting there. I had no clue what was going on until I finally, got the call. So anybody that called me anytime in between that time, you're thinking and you answer, and it's like, "Hey man, you heard anything yet?" No, don't call me.
They didn't have any special phones just for the NFL back then.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But I still remember that call like it was yesterday.
You did.
Yeah, man.
I bet. I think the next time Mark's on, man, I'm going to bust on him because Brad would have been drafted by the team by today's standards, but Mark would have been an undrafted free agent.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but you know what he's going to do? He's going to say, "Yeah, but I played longer than Brad did." And so he's got me on that.
No, we won't talk about that. It's fine.
No.
We
Did you ever get hit by Mark in practice?
No, I don't believe so. Not at least not that I remember. So that might be part of the problem. Maybe I did. I don't remember.
We'll take it as that.
Him at the linebacker spot. Most of the time I was playing on that outside position. I slip in, slot occasionally, but most of the time I was on the outside. So didn't get the linebacker action. Well, not very often, but a few times.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah. I remember when I
That's
separated my shoulder, it was I was in the slot, and ran a crosser with Jim and got hit by Jeff Harrod, that linebacker from the Indianapolis Colts, and that's when they say, "Hey, you're 1 yard too deep." You miss those kind of hits.
find out the hard way.
Yeah, that's why depth's important.
We got Eli from Eli's Winning Lockdown right here on the K-Gun Report saying,
Hey, Eli.
I kind of like to imagine that he's like in front of his computer on his tablet and he's kind of saying it like the Terminator. Like,
Come back.
John says, "Wing tastes better when you use your fingers." That's going to be the next milestone for Eli, man. We'll get him. Yeah.
My kid uses his fingers, but he goes through a whole roll of paper towel.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Every bite.
One paper towel.
Lori said she just texted Mark, so let's see if he shows up. And like, okay, he's got 8 minutes, so we'll just. Corey said Mark wasn't fast enough to catch. You guys better watch out, man. Mark's gonna come to the show, so.
Mark, I think Mark ran a
Hey, he can
4.
outbench me. I can at least outrun him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it was, what did he say? 375 20 times. Jeez.
Oh
Man.
my gosh, that
Well,
guy
again, Brad,
was an animal.
You got to run that pattern to the right depth, though. You just said it yourself.
That's right. That's right. You got to avoid that collision.
Oh, nice. All right, guys, it's 9:22. Man, we're so close to 1,000 of you joining us here tonight, and it sure has been a great time hanging out with the Lambs. Xander, Brad, obviously but Xander, please come again, join us anytime, man.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure talking with you. What we like to do at the end of the show is go around the panel, give a little final thought, and let everybody know where they can follow you to follow your transfer portal and your collegiate career coming up here. Let's start with you if you don't mind.
With me?
Yeah.
No. Just I want to say thank you guys for having me on here. It's been a pleasure. Y'all are amazing. I love how invested you guys are in Buffalo and my dad and everything. So I just want to say appreciate you. My Instagram is Xander.lamb. If y'all want to go follow that. My Twitter, I think, is just Lamb_Xander. If y'all want to see, with the X, both of those. So if y'all want to just see everything, y'all can go follow those. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. Go Bills, and we're definitely gonna come up to a game. So we'll link up there and do the thing. And I'll eat my my wings with blue cheese. So
absolute pleasure, man. Wish you all the best. Brad, what do you got for us tonight?
Oh man, just as always, thrilled to death to be here. Love the Bills Mafia, love Buffalo, man. So much of my history is me, is involved there in Buffalo, and I just love it. I love the people there, So my shout out to all Bills Mafia. Looking forward to a Super Bowl win this year. I'm still banking on that, believing that. Again, thanks for allowing my son to be on here with us. As I said, I'm a great supporter. I think where he goes he's going to be a diamond in the rough, and they're going to really be happy that they got him. And shout out to AU and their football program and staff, for treating us so well, and right, just the way it's supposed to be done. And just pray for us. That here, probably within the next few days or whatever, we're going to be making that decision of what needs to happen for him. And, we definitely, got a decision to make, and we're obviously going to give him our input, but let him make that decision. So maybe we can come back on here and he can announce it right on here where he's going and all that. So,
Absolutely.
we'll go there. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Love you guys, man. Love being on here. Wish you guys the best. Continued success with your show, with your family, your wives. Please tell them thank you from us for allowing you guys to do this, and because we appreciate it, and I know the fans do as well.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
And shout out to my kids that are watching. I cannot shout out to all my kids. My son-in-laws, Cornerstone Power Wash. If anybody needs a good power wash, Cornerstone, where to go.
So what happened? Does Xander kick you under the table there?
Yeah.
Dan, everybody else watching. You got a teammate watching too.
We do a good amount of shows a year, so I mean, it might take us a season and a half, but if we have one of your family members on every episode, we might be able to.
We can do that. Right. It might take a while, but we can do it.
Spartan says he's going to make Eli PB&J wings. I think he can make all of us those. Those are fantastic.
He's going to make Xander the PB&J
wings.
Xander. Won't need ranch.
Yeah, they are really good, man. Absolutely. Ellen Larch, so very happy to know that Brad brought Xander to the show. Absolutely. You guys are killing it in the comments, man. Thank you so much. Jerry boy, what do you got for a final thought for us tonight, buddy?
Final thought, quick. Brad, I didn't know if you saw, but Clifford Hicks says hello, an ex-teammate of
Oh,
yours. He's
yes,
saying,
man.
I
What's
see
up,
you, Brad. Number
Hope you're doing
27.
well, buddy.
It was one of them 90s guys, number 27. I used to love watching him play too. Welcome to the show, Clifford.
That's right. He used to jam me on the line, at defensive back, not trying to let me get off the ball.
Well, now
Iron
that sounds
sharpens
like
iron,
another
right?
great joint Brad Lamb episode to me. We'll get Cliff and Brad on. They could talk about all their interactions. And it sounds
Yeah.
CB versus receiver. Yeah, heck yeah. We just back them up.
Oh, you want me to make one more comment before we get off here,
Oh, of
just
course.
so everybody knows. He's still single too, by the way.
Can you get a close up on his mug there, Brad?
Well, luckily for you, Xander, our followers are between the age of 55 and 75.
Ah, sweet. That's perfect.
Mostly male.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
not
well,
perfect.
okay.
Anyway.
We draw the line in some places.
Awesome.
No, it's a fantastic night. It's a typical K-Gun report. We come in with a set thing of what we want to try to do, but then we get guys like Brad and Xander come on. We just talk life and football, and it doesn't matter where the show goes. We have a good time the whole time, and I'm glad you guys joined us again. Like Swank said, you guys are more than welcome to come back anytime you want. Just give us a little message, and we'll get you on. Bills Mafia, I hope you enjoyed the show. Xander, good luck, man, especially to you. I know how humbled of a person you are, and I hope this drive to be successful, not only in college football, but in education and life, takes you to where you want to go. And you got one hell of a group behind you, especially with the size of your family and stuff. What a hell of a group to have. And I can't wait to watch you as you go too. Brad, obviously, we love you, man. That's why we keep having you back. You're like family now to us, and we appreciate you coming on, just talking about football and life, and filling us in on your grandkiddos and your wife and everything like that. So it's a family thing, man. And that's what I pride myself in, and I know Scott and Swank do too about this. Particular
Absolutely.
show is family first, man. We love one another, and that's how it's got to be, and to make things go. And thank you guys for a great show. Can't wait to come back next Tuesday and talk more football with y'all. If there is any to talk about, I'm sure there will be. Until then, guys, have a good week. Go Bills.
Oh, yeah.
Go Bills.
We just hit the 1K mark. So Xander, you got to keep us all updated on what happens in the next couple shows. But no, my final thought is the fan first perspective family show. We love what we do every Tuesday. We do this for the people leaving the comments. That's why we always hit up the comments like we do, because we and the guests that we go out and we it's an organic thing. We bring you guys in because we have a connection, and that's why we love having you guys on. So love every second of it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Every Tuesday night at 8:30, like Jared said. Can't wait for football. We got a couple months till that happens, but let's talk some life. Swank's laughing.
I read the comment.
Corey said he'll remain single until he accepts blue cheese.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Thanks a lot,
That's the kind
Lambs.
of family atmosphere we got here.
My bad.
Yeah. Well, we love to have you on, Lambs. So thank you for joining us, and it's been fun tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm going trying to hit them all while they're coming. You're going through this really nice final thought, and then okay.
That's
That's Corey's fault. I blame you, Corey. Guys, so nice to be back. Love y'all. As Scooter said, 1,006 of you tuning in right now. We are part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Super proud to be. Go follow everything they do on social media and all of our other shows and co-inhabitants of Buff Fan Base. We're also sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Give them all your money. They'll do way better things with it than you will, I promise. You'll help Western New York family in need, and it's a win-win-win-win-win-win. Been a great night. I'm so excited that this was the show back. I've had a lot of music stuff going on and other things, and to come back and have the Lambs here and have such a great conversation time and see my boys, the Reeds, man, it really energized me, got me stoked. I'm excited. Guys, thanks again so much for being here. Please come back anytime. You guys can follow Xander on Twitter and send them all of your, advances.
I guess.
Yeah, let's photos. Let's
By the way,
you know.
I'll tell you what, Xander. On our social media pages, we're getting a lot of weird stuff on there saying a bunch of stuff. So if you want to, we'll give you the link to our page. There's a lot of offers. A lot of offers coming out of it.
No, please follow our guy Xander and his career and what's happening. And again, thank you guys so much for being on. We love you guys. We end it with a big Go Bills. So go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go.